Right, in the previous video, what we did was created the message listener and the guild member ad, and we just greeted our member when he joins the server. So now what we're going to do is create a couple utilities, which I find to be extremely useful in creating Discord bots. The first one being an embed util, which you could create embeds without this util, but I think it's very handy and it helps me to speed up the process of creating an embed. And also you can make default parameters in the embed like icons, which will be called or which will be included in every embed if you want to have a personalized icon for your bot. So you don't have to, write code for every time you make an embed, which you're going to be making embeds a lot. Pretty much anytime you send a message with a bot, it's usually going to be in an embed. At least the nicer looking messages usually come in embeds. So first we're going to make a util folder here, and we'll just make an embed JS, and we're going to module.exports equals async function. Okay, make a little line of a note here. And we'll just say embed. Okay, so first thing we want to do to make this embed util is we're going to require const embed equals require discord.js.message embed. Okay, that's how we get access to the embed. So we'll just make const equal to new embed. Then what we want to do is just make a little object here, title, description, author, footer, and these are all properties of the embed that you might see. We got author, color, created at description fields. Any of these can go up in here. These are just quick ways of making an embed. So we got author, footer, image, URL, thumbnail, color, fields, files. So that's enough for now. If we need more, we can always add more. So let's just say if we pass in the title here, we're going to say title. So if we pass in the title is not null. We're going to say e.setTitle. Set title to title. Else false. So nothing's going to happen if we don't pass in the title. It's not going to break the function. Nothing will happen. Okay, so let's just say description. If we pass in the description, e.setDescription, description. Else false. And instead of putting false here, we could include some defaults, which I'll do here. Let's say let me make a color. We'll get to the color. Say author. We pass in the author. You got set author to author. If false. Footer. You got set footer. Footer. Else. Okay, so here's where we're gonna put this default. So e.set footer tutorial bot. So let's just finish this up and I'll show you how it works. Image, u.set image to image, else false. URL, e.set URL to URL, it's false. Thumbnail, e.set thumbnail, else false. Color, oops, color, set color to color, false. Let's make this one a default as well. e.set color to let's just say green. Fields, e.set add fields. Fields, else false. Files, e.set files, add files. What is it? Attach files. False. Okay, so we have to return the embed. Okay, so what this function does just takes in all these parameters, and if they exist, we add it to a new embed and return the embed. So let's say we'll go back to the app, and we're going to require the embed util. Embed equals require util embed. So when we get a new message, we're just going to await message.channel. This is the channel the message is coming from in the message event listener. We're going to await message.channel.send. And we're going to say we're going to send a new embed. We're going to await embed because it's an async function. We're just going to give it a title of response. Pretty basic. Okay, so let's minimize that and we'll just talk to it here. So start the bot. Say test. Whoa, that's weird. That's not normal. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, right. Of course, we don't want to be replying to ourselves. So what we want to do, say if message.author.id is not equal to client.user.id. Yeah, this is a pretty important step of making the message listener. You don't want to be responding to yourself because you see every time you get a new message in here, it's going to respond. And this is counted as a message, of course, because it's being passed in here. So if you wanted to respond to your own messages, that's how you do it. Well, let's see if that fixed it. There you go. See, the ID of the author of that message was not equal to client.user ID, so it didn't respond. But it did respond to this other message because it was a different ID. So let's just say we wanted to change the color of the embed. So we've got this default color here, green. But if color exists in this object here, this is going to be set to color. But since it's not, it hasn't been defined in this function here, it just set it to the default. So what we're going to do is change the color, red. Now it's red. Okay, so you see this footer here is also set to tutorial bot. So the default of the footer is set to tutorial bot. So we're going to override that as well. Something else. Not very creative, but what can you do? Test. Something else. So we've overridden the color in the footer to something else. Right, that's how you make the embed util. I think next we're going to make the parser, the parse.js. Now let's just make a test file. This will be useful in testing our command parser so we don't have to connect to Discord and wait for messages. We'll just do it all in VS Code. So let's make this command parser. So the first thing we want to do is prefix, because we need a command prefix, equals, we'll just say, well, first we'll put it in our .m file. That way, if we want to change it, we can do it through the .m. Prefix equals /. We'll just say / for now. So prefix equals process.end.prefix. Or, as a default, we can set it to /, which has no effect right now. Say if this wasn't available, then it wouldn't throw an error. We don't like errors, so we're just going to catch that error of this prefix not being available and set a default value. So we'll just make a note here and say command parser, so we know what we're looking at. And what this is going to do is module.exports equals function, and we're just going to pass in a message, and message equals message.trim. This is just going to trim off any white space, which, if it exists, could mess up the command parsing. Prefix equals twice 0 to prefix.length. Okay, so now the prefix, say we pass in a message here, say hello, say bot slash hello. So the prefix is going to be this. So what it's going to do is it's going to trim all this white space that might be part of it. So it's going to be left with just that. And the prefix is going to be message.slice from index of 0 to the length of this prefix. So prefix is just going to slice off this much string. So prefix is not equal to prefix. I'm just going to return. So if this prefix here is not equal to bot slash, say it's not slash, we're just going to return, and we're not going to do anything else. But if the prefix does equal what do we want our prefix to be, then we're going to continue on with the function. And what we're going to do next is get the rest of the, we're going to get the command. So the prefix is just going to be letting our command parser know that yes, this is a command. Command is going to be whatever's after the prefix. So we'll say command equals message.split, and we're just going to split by white space globally, right? All right, so equals 1. So if there's only if there's no arguments, if it's just this, then what we're going to do is return directive equal command at index of 0 dot slice prefix dot 1. And this is just command at index of 0, so it's just going to be this is what's going to be left over after we slice the whole command here. And then we're going to say args equals new map, because args are going to be made up of a map, which I'll show you in this next part of the function here. Directive equals command at index of 0 slice prefix dot 1. So why don't I just show you here exactly what happens. Require util slash parse. So we're just going to run this. We're not going to run the bot. We're going to run node test.js, because running this file here, which is just on the main folder here, in the root folder, test.js. See, there's the directive hello, and args map is 0. We've got no args. Hello arg. We've got undefined because we haven't told to do anything yet. Directive. So what's going to be the directive? Going to be hello, right? So get the directive, now the args. So args are going to be everything after the bot slash hello. So you got the directive here, which is going to be hello, and then the args are going to be the rest of this array, which is going to be arg, let's say arg1, arg2, it's just console.log. Hey. Oop, build args. Oh, let's comment this out so we haven't made it yet. Arg1, arg2. Okay, why is that? Slice. Well, that's just strange. Okay. Well, there's arg1, arg2, and arg3. Wonder why that happened. Wonder if I didn't. I must have saved it. Yeah, I guess I just didn't save it. Anyway, so here's our arguments: arg1, arg2. Let's do arg3 again. Just we got some more to work with. Three's a good number, right? Arg1, arg2, arg3. So our console will log in the directive and the arguments. And we got the directive and the arguments. So the directive is going to be hello. So the command we're going to use is hello. And the arguments are arg1, arg2, and 3. So now we're going to build args into a map. So let's uncomment that. Let's just return, you're going to return the directive and args, just like we returned here, directive and args. But this one is going to contain arguments instead of just a new map. So the way we build a map of arguments is pretty simple. We just const build args equals function, take an args, return arg map equals new map. I'm going to create this map. And if arg dot includes args dot for each. So we're going to say for each of these arguments that are passed into this function, we're going to test if arg dot includes colon, which we haven't done yet. So let's just include a colon here. So arg1 equals, let's just say Discord is cool, and arg3 is not going to have a colon. But if it does have a colon, we are going to include this into the arg map dot set arg. Let's say arg a equals arg dot split the colon. And then we're going to set into the map a at index of 0, and then we're going to say a at index of 1. So what this is going to do is split these two lines here, arg1 and Discord, between this colon, and it's going to set into the map 0 and 1 of the array. So arg1 is going to be equal to Discord. And let's say arg3 doesn't have a colon, so else arg map dot set a. So that's just going to set this arg3 into the map and just say it exists. Okay, we're going to return arg map. Okay, so let's just see what it looks like, this command. A is not defined. Arg. There. Arg1 is true. Oh, what the heck? Arg.split. Oh, we didn't save it. We need to save it first and include these colons here. There. So arg1 equal to Discord. Arg2 is cool. Arg3 is equal to true because it doesn't have a colon. So let's include the colon, and we'll just say hello. So arg3 is now going to be equal to hello. And that's how I make a command parser. And in the next lesson, we're going to go over how to use this command parser in our bot. And we're going to parse some commands, and we're going to handle them.